Camila's Kitchen, or you can join in from anywhere in the world thanks to our friends over at Just Create. And afterwards, refuel with your post-workout breakfast from Camila's Kitchen to truly support your wellness and your fitness goals. Catch us for this special workout hour on CVM TV on Mondays from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. and a repeat at 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Well Fit Wednesdays right here at the Marketplace. See you there.
Get Sagicor School Companion Health Plan for as little as $2,540 per month. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock. CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday. Brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout McDonald and his co-convict slapped with life sentences. Opposition wants wholeness out now, and flood rains wreak havoc in southern parishes.
Also this evening, Yalis residents demand water. In the business report, the latest happenings in the markets. And in sports, ISA issues sanction against dental technical players in physical confrontation with referee. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Thursday, the 26th day of September 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The Portland businessman who was charged for the murder of his wife in 2020 faced the court again, this time to know his judgment.
Now, our reporter Trisha Gay Kelly was in court and joins us with the details.
Yes, Caroline and Stephen, it's life in prison. That's the ruling for Everton Beachy Stout McDonald for the murder of his second wife, Tonia McDonald. It was a similar fate for Oscar Barnes, and that's the man accused of being McDonald's accomplice. Close family members listening to presiding Judge Justice Chester Stamp describe how Tonia was brutally murdered while screaming for help, cried openly inside the Supreme Court on Thursday. For Nicole Hamilton-Linton, her sister will never come home. However, the ruling brings a bit of closure to the chilling incident.
We are still mourning her loss. I don't think this will ever come to an end because she was a baby of the family and we loved her dearly. The sentence, it's acceptable given the fact how old this man is and he will not be coming out. Mom was not present. She is having a very difficult time coping.
McDonald will serve 28 years and 11 months in prison before being eligible for parole. He was also charged with conspiracy to murder and will serve 4 years and 6 months. That sentence will run concurrently with his murder charge. His attorney, Christopher Townsend, says the ruling was no shock.
Nothing happened that surprised us. We knew that it would have been a lengthy time because of the nature of the offense and the aggravating circumstances. The living truth is he's 70-odd years old. He's celebrating his 70th birthday, rather, in October of this year. So he's just a couple of weeks shy. And so for him, 20-odd years is a lifetime. More than likely, he'll be spending the rest of his days behind bars.
However, Barnes' attorney does not share the same sentiment for his client. His client was also sentenced to 28 years and 11 months in prison before being eligible for parole for murder and 6 years, 6 months for conspiracy to murder. Barnes was charged for stabbing Tonia multiple times in the chest before slashing her throat and setting her body on fire. Attorney Vincent Wellesley says he's not satisfied with the sentencing.
I am disappointed that the judge did not reduce Mr. Barnes' sentence to possibly maybe 25 years. The reason being, his social inquiry report was impeccable. And as we all know, sentencing has now become very mathematical. And so the judge ought to have taken off more years.
For 70-year-old McDonald, whose health is deteriorating, his attorney will be filing for an appeal.
That is still on the table, more so now. We have completed this aspect of it, and so his attorneys that will be handling the appeal. As a matter of fact, we were in consultation with them earlier on today, and they've settled the holding grounds, which they intend to file certainly by tomorrow.
The convict sentences were reduced from a previous 35 years for McDonald and 34 for Barnes due to the amount of time already spent in custody in addition to their social contribution. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
It's just a few months post Hurricane Beryl, and southern parishes are being reminded of the damage caused and the recovery process they will now have to undergo again. Communities are grappling with significant damage and displacement following catastrophic flooding. Here's Britannia Witter with more.
Residents in the southern part of the island are being forced once again to cope with the aftermath of severe flooding following the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl. The relentless downpour rendered a number of roadways impassable and some homes inundated. In a video reaching our newsroom, one woman was heard lamenting the damage done to newly developed farmlands.
People, look at the flooding out there. Kada boy. I feel that one I feel. Just plant a skeleton. And every root get up with the grass on it. Flooding. Right in front of my shop.
Meanwhile, several areas across Mandeville were also affected, including Bonita Crescent, Newley Road, the Carteret Road, and Noels Road. Videos circulating on social media also show motor vehicles being submerged in rising waters, leaving many social media users to express their frustration at the lack of proper drainage infrastructure in the parish. On Wednesday, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica extended a flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of southern and northwestern parishes until 12 p.m. Thursday. Britannia Witter, CVM News.
More schools in the south are set to reopen in the coming weeks, signifying a return to normal since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The Education Ministry is, however, voicing concern about students' academic performance. Courtney Lewis tells us more.
Schools across southern Jamaica are returning to normalcy after Hurricane Beryl. On Tuesday, the Winston Jones High School hosted the ceremonial reopening of schools in Manchester, a parish heavily battered by the storm. The school suffered damage to its roofs, labs, and classrooms, which the ministry promises to rectify.
I know everything is not back to where we want them to be across Jamaica. But we continue to work with the contractors and the building officers to ensure that the repair work is completed as quickly as possible.
The school, which boasts internet connectivity and a strong TVET and STEM program, also benefited from the unveiling of a Values and Attitude Park, which aligns with the ministry's policies for holistic development. The minister further highlighted the programs designed to address what she described as maladaptive behaviors.
Through their experiences, it is expected that students will become individuals who are caring, respectful, resilient, have integrity of behavior, are gracious, civic conscious, patriotic, and will therefore act responsibly.
Amidst the celebration, Minister Williams says island-wide academic performance is still reeling from the impact of learning loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The pass rate for mathematics at the CSEC level in the year prior to the pandemic stood at 54% and is currently at 38%.
So what that is telling us is that we have not recovered yet from COVID. And the students who sat CSEC mathematics in 2024, if you think back, those are the students who never had a grade 7 and probably never had a grade 8 either. So they lost out.
The ministry has, however, made a strong commitment to shifting the narrative for both secondary and primary school students.
I know we're going to redouble our steps for the students for 2025 because we have to recover to where we were before the pandemic and move beyond that in mathematics. And so that is where our focus is at the moment.
She's further urging greater parent and community involvement to improve performance and behavior in schools. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
The government is still in the hot seat following the recent Integrity Commission report involving the Prime Minister and alleged illicit enrichment. The PNP claims the diaspora has gotten involved, having voiced concerns to the opposition spokesperson on foreign and regional affairs. Here's Trisha Gay Kelly with that story.
The People's National Party, PNP, is not easing up on the government in their request for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to step down while he's being investigated. This follows the Integrity Commission's report on Holness's statutory declarations, which the PNP have labelled a serious matter. Opposition spokesperson on foreign and regional affairs, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, says the diaspora has grown concerned.
I've had many calls, and the sentiment really is that persons are embarrassed, they are disappointed, and they are concerned. They are concerned because, many of them believe that the Prime Minister needs to be above any doubt or any cloud.
She says with the many contributions members of the diaspora have made to the country, they deserve some clarity.
We're talking about NGOs, we're talking about charitable organizations that so many persons in the diaspora, use as a means to help their country. And they want to make sure that all of their donations, their contributions, that they're transparent and that they're going to the causes that they would want to do. And this raises some questions in their minds.
However, Dr. Brown-Burke explains the complaints are not limited to a specific group.
Many of them from the US, some from Canada, from the UK, who have been calling me, even individuals who are on the continent in Africa. They're extremely concerned in terms of the message that is sent with our Prime Minister, and all that they have heard in terms of the report from the Integrity Commission.
She adds it's time the Prime Minister acknowledges the seriousness of the situation.
What is clear is that in any self-respecting democracy, a Prime Minister who finds himself in this position would do the right thing and step aside to allow proper investigations to be made.
The Prime Minister has maintained he was never aware he was being investigated for illicit enrichment. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Do stay with us. We've got lots more news coming up right after this.
CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday, brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy.
Next 10 TV. BCJ, them set the scene. Sound so good and the picture pristine. More content, new features in.
So forward, let me show you the print.
Station, them a bring HD to your TV.
Yeah, for you, and for me.
For real, higher image quality, interactivity.
Recommendations for your personality. New technology.
We never get the first, so we in the top 3. Oh, yeah, me. Can see straight TV screen. And the students check in. Never miss a lesson, cause the audio clean.
One listening.
Emergency messaging with geo-targeting. One any parish when the storm is coming.
More content for highlight we.
Future brighty.
I'm glad you agree.
BCJ, them set the scene. Sound so good and the picture pristine. More content, new features in.
So forward, let me show you the print. Next Gen TV. Next Gen TV. Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of we. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
Say aloha flavor. We know pizza. It's literally in our name.
Pizza Hut. We know pizza. Pizza Hut. For the love of pizza. Pizza Hut. The sweet and the savory. Pizza Hut. Hawaiian, no normal. Clearly. Pizza Hut.
CVM News at 7 Thursday, brought to you by
MIBinsure.com today and save serious money.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Water is life, but some residents of Yala St. Thomas say they are yearning for the precious commodity. Adrian Williams reports on this deep dive.
17 years now, no water now come through the pipe. No water. We need water. Bill, no water.
Residents of Pondside in Yala St. Thomas took to the streets this week protesting a matter they say has been affecting them for several years. One resident says the purchasing of water brings a depth of financial burden.
Me can't buy water. $13,000 every 2 weeks. Me have to leave from Pondside, got 4 months, can I go wash my clothes at my mother-in-law yard. And that for over 3 years now. And everybody look on it from a political point of view. Politics have nothing to do with this. No. We're talking about ourselves. We're not talking about politicians. Politicians come and go, you know. But everybody where there, so stay yourself.
Since the road development in the area, the locals say their water access has been restricted, as one side of the roadway has water while another is without.
Every rain and fall, only people don't get water for bathe, you know. So God just make water fall from where you feel so people can bathe. At time now, them change it, brother.
We need water.
Yep, put it on them, make them talk to how number one live here.
We have to be walking up and down with pan trying to look water somewhere. Right? And the old folks that around here can't manage that. You have baby around here want water, want tea, and one time we have no water. We have to buy water. And we hardly get no water from the truck. Nobody come around and give us our water. So we need water and we need it now.
The residents are calling on the relevant authorities to return consistent running water to their community.
Them need to do better. You understand? If them say them fix the main, connect the water, them and make water commission charge me. Because water commission ended up charge me $13,000 per 2 weeks, brother.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Staying in St. Thomas this time, the eastern end, taxi operators and other road users have been traversing the Port Morant and Leith Hall roadways with extreme care as the road conditions are creating challenges. Here again is Adrian Williams.
Commuters in Port Morant, St. Thomas are faced with deplorable road conditions while going about their daily activities. A plight spurred by road repairs taking place along the East Coast Highway corridor. President of the Eastern St. Thomas Taxi Association, Kirk Brown, is appealing to the government to address the issue as quickly as possible, as the road conditions consistently present almost insurmountable motor vehicle repair bills.
It is really disgrace to know that the road is working on and it's not in a drivable condition. As according to the contractor, while the road is working on, it should be drivable at the same time. And this is not drivable at this time. And we are reaching out to the relevant authority to do something about it, because it is creating a lot of havoc, especially to the vehicle, muffler, and other front end parts and the vehicle.
One resident is confused about the contractor's method of construction. He claims they are doing more harm than good.
And money to do better on this to poor people. Look can't deal with poor people, look. I fear water on the road because my lad see that the water with the road. With the road, see them, it can't go nowhere.
Others say it was in far better condition before.
When the car them pass,
They scrape underneath the bottom and they have one heap of trench and gully and riverside. And one heap of something I go on here. So it wasn't like this. The water used to settle, but now it turned trench and it turned riverside and riverbed. It turned riverbed. Look on the car, them, they can't, the truck, the big truck, them, they can't pass. Because the road terrible. The road, the China, they need to do something.
For now, commuters continue to take extra precaution as they traverse the roadway. Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Residents of St. Mary can now breathe a sigh of relief with a dedicated doctor's office geared towards reducing wait time. The new facility was opened at the Oracabessa Health Centre. Member of Parliament for St. Mary Western Robert Montague says a similar project is to come for the people of Mason Hall. Courtney Lewis has more.
A 250% increase. That's the total number of patients who have been visiting the Oracabessa doctor's office since its installment at the health centre in June. Member of Parliament for Western St. Mary Robert Montague was at the handing over. He shared that the project, sponsored by the Tourism Enhancement Fund and the Constituency Development Fund, costs approximately $2 million. Recently, there's been a significant rise in demand for medical services in the Oracabessa area that MP Montague says has now been addressed. He also announced that a doctor's office will be opened at the Mason Hall Health Centre.
We were in Mason Hall a short while ago because we did some work at the Mason Hall Clinic as well. We repaired the roof because it was leaking. We did some painting and we also gave some furnishings to Mason Hall. And we are looking, the next project for Mason Hall is to look at a room that Mr. Edmonds has already looked at, and the material that left off for the first work, we tell him he must go get some more material and put on that and tile out a room because we want a doctor's office in Mason Hall.
Medical Officer of Health for St. Mary, Dr. Tamara Henry, shared that the time spent at the offices by doctors will be increased to effectively meet the community's healthcare needs.
Team, community members, how many days do you think we're here for now? Every day. Not every day. You see, that's a good place to be, but we're not there yet. Remember, we have 20 working days in the month. We have moved from 5 to how many days? 11 days. Wow. And so we are so happy to be able to offer service to the people that we know need it the most.
And while this extension is necessary, Montague says his team is looking to expand Oracabessa's health centre and have a doctor present daily.
So we are still aiming to get a doctor here every day of the week. Because Oracabessa is a growing town, and Oracabessa Clinic does not only serve the town of Oracabessa, but Stewarttown, Mango Valley, Huddersfield, Boscobel, Racecourse, Galena. So it serves a wide area, and that is why we want a doctor in the house. And that will also mean that we are going to have to expand the clinic a little bit more. That means a new clinic. And that is what I am looking towards.
In the meantime, the MP continues to encourage residents to make use of the resources currently being made available to them. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Please get ready for a big celebration tomorrow as we mark a special milestone. Do join us at 6 in the morning for Sunrise, Rise and Rewind, the reunion. Now, this special episode will celebrate the first year since our rebranding and the second of the Verticast media acquisition of CVM Television. Join the Sunrise family, Dennis, Miss Kitty, Yendi, Tammy and Iti as they share their favorite memories. Of course, we'll also have the extended CVM family and lots more. So don't miss Sunrise, Rise and Rewind, the reunion tomorrow at 6. Don't go away, we've got lots more here on the news. Stay with us.
Papa
for Jesus. Insurance gone up again? Or go faster. It gas our insurance.
Driver, let's go.
Do you really want to stick with the same old insurer? For the first time in Jamaica, taxis, minibuses, coasters, whatever you drive, MIBinsure.com will find you an insurer who will slash your premium by up to 60%. They all claim to save you money, but only MIB Insure actually can. Switch to MIBinsure.com today and save serious money.
Get ready for a schoolboy football doubleheader. First up, 2023 Ben Francis Cup winners McGraw battle Charlie Mount at 1:30 p.m. Then, Dintle Technical and Uaten High square off at 3:30 p.m. The Costa Cup doubleheader, October 5. See it happen on CVM TV.
Schoolboy Football, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Services, Texaco, and Connix.
Ray and Nebby, feel we culture, yo!
New beginning, we winning, so share our spirit where you living, yeah.
Share it!
I make we all a one bar, you don't know we come from far.
From far, anytime we rep, feel we country. Rear rum, it have to come with me.
No matter with the bad vibes.
Poor rear rum, a celebration time.
Rear rum, I feel we culture.
Rear rum,
make we show ya. Jamaican culture.
Ray and Nebby, overproof from we just have to do with culture.
Welcome back. In business news this evening, farmers island-wide continue to benefit from a series of workshops organized by Nutrimix Feeds. The workshops are aimed at equipping livestock farmers with the necessary knowledge they need to improve productivity and quality. Britannia Witter has more.
Newport Mills, the island's manufacturer of Nutrimix brand of animal feed and animal supplements, continue to support farmers with a series of workshops designed to improve the quality and the production of livestock farming. The latest seminar was held in Port Antonio, Portland, where a number of farmers turned up to listen to the presentations by the Nutrimix team. Regional Sales Manager of Nutrimix Feeds, Winston Thomas, says the initiative is geared towards training farmers.
We keep these seminars where we train the farmers and how they are to grow their animals in the proper way so that they can become successful farmers. Now, our livelihood is dependent on their success, so we want them to be successful, so we ensure that we teach them. So this seminar we're doing here in Port Antonio is just one in a number of seminars that we're doing across Jamaica, and the whole idea is just to get the farmers up to speed and their technical knowledge in terms of producing their livestock.
Adding that a number of farmers lack the knowledge to properly care for their livestock.
One of the bigger problems too that the farmers have, and we mentioned this before, is and I cannot overemphasize, is that the farmers themselves really do not know how to do a lot of these things properly. It's a big challenge for the farmers, and we're here to help them, so we're going to help them to navigate through to make sure that they are all successful people at the end of the day.
He urged the farmers to contact Nutrimix Feeds for assistance and information on best practices to provide for their farmlands. Britannia Whittle, CVM News.
CVM News continues right after this break.
JN Bank Small Business Loans is linked to so many stories of ordinary Jamaicans and their extraordinary success. It's a demonstration of our strong belief in the business ambitions of Jamaicans. And by doing so, have expanded industries, improved communities, and transformed the lives of entire families for the better.
JN Bank, small business loan, help business like ours come to life and grow over the years.
Come, talk to us. Tell us your business. Let's start a partnership and let your business plans appear in real life. JN Bank Small Business Loan.
Only a Heineken is perfectly brewed for that first Now let's turn up the refreshment. Get ready for perfectly brewed experiences. Enter now to win a trip for two to South Beach, Miami, including VIP experience at Club 11 and dinner at Giselle, plus weekly and bi-weekly prizes. Get ready for perfectly brewed experiences with Heineken. Go to HeinekenWin.com for details and enter to win. Heineken, perfectly brewed for that first Must be 18 years and older. Drink and live responsibly.
As a fitness guy, I was surprised by my chronic illness diagnosis. I thought working out harder would fix it, but it wasn't enough. Now, my prescription meds are a part of my routine.
When I got my diagnosis, I really felt down and stopped spending time with the people I love. Then I decided not to let any disease get the best of me. And I'm committed to taking my meds as prescribed. On time, every time.
No hesitation. Take your medication. A message from the NHF. NHF is here for health. NHF is here for you.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, a KFC when we pulling up. Anything for the taste of a KFC, big deal. The time by KFC is...
Welcome back. Let's recap our top stories for you. Life in prison, that's ruling for Everton Beachy Stout McDonald for the murder of his second wife, Tonia McDonald. It was a similar fate for Oscar Barnes, the man accused of being McDonald's accomplice. Close family members listening to presiding Judge Justice Chester Stamp describe how Tonia was brutally murdered while screaming for help, cried openly inside the Supreme Court on Thursday. It's just a few months post Hurricane Beryl, and the southern parishes are being reminded of the damage caused and the recovery process they will now have to undergo again. Communities are grappling with significant damage and displacement following catastrophic flooding. More schools in the south are set to reopen in the coming weeks, signifying a return to normal after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The Education Ministry is voicing concern about students' academic performance.
It's now time for a look at our social media pages.
So, what's trending in our local social media spaces? Everton Beachy Stout McDonald, a prominent businessman from Portland, and his accomplice, Oscar Barnes, have been handed a prison sentence of 28 years and 11 months each before being eligible for parole. They have been convicted for the heinous murder of McDonald's wife, Tonia. Here are some of your reactions to the news. At David Williams 5722 adds, should have 82 years. At Nosy Truth comments, the long arm of justice can no longer be subverted. At Nikki Snail's World posts, that too little bit. At Witter Stacy says, remember old man saw a life that for him. At Lorna Savage 61 shares, yes, he got his just desserts. At Akeem_Ming writes, have it all and throw it away. Case of maybe having too much. But yeah, life is over for you now. And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM_television on Instagram. I'm Ronaldo Adams.
And now we turn to regional and international news.
We begin with the news in the region. Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali addressed the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday, emphasizing that international law serves as both a shield and armor for Guyana in its enduring struggle against Venezuelan aggression over the past 58 years. More from Newsroom Guyana.
We remind this August Assembly that the border between Guyana and Venezuela was fully, finally, and perfectly settled in an 1899 award by an international tribunal. Venezuela was fully represented in that tribunal, whose award it proclaimed in its own Congress and welcomed for more than 6 decades. Before reopening the issue on the eve of Guyana's independence, claiming 2/3 of our territory. This controversy, initiated by Venezuela, was submitted by Guyana to the International Court of Justice in accordance with a decision of the United Nations Secretary General and consistent with our position to settle this matter by legal and peaceful means.
France 24 spoke to Venezuelan opposition leader